to Wolf Farms. I'm Dawn, also known as Knittin' Wolf.
You look like you had to think about that one. And I'm James, also known as Wolf Photo. This podcast is brought to you by Wolf Farms. You can find us on the internet at wolffarms.net. I had to think about that too. We have a redo. This is our blooper reel. Yeah. We have a scent of the month every month, and for the month of February, it is Fresh Cut Roses. You get 25% off everything in our shop that is scented in that fragrance, and we have other sale items as well, like our lip balms, buy two get one free. You got that for one, and other things. I'm sure you swing by and you check out our specials. You'll find something you'll enjoy. So I want to welcome new and returning viewers. Thanks for joining us today. We got a couple items on the agenda for the podcast.
And those include farm happenings, Farmer's Almanac, In the Coop, Flown the Coop, Squeal like a pig, and Roundup.
Roundup. Yeehaw! So, farm happenings?
Already?
You want to take a nap?
And if you notice our title, Wolf Farms, you know there's never any mention of knitting.
Well, you know, we stay busy.
Yep.
But we do knitting and finish it on occasion, huh?
Yeah. I was determined to finish that today.
Well, it's been a heck of a week, huh?
Yeah. So.
Farm happenings.
It was somewhere every day, and I am a hermit.
Yeah.
So me going every single day just
too much.
Yeah. And Tuesday I wasn't home at all.
Yeah. So why don't you tell about it?
Well, Monday Jimmy and I had to go get haircuts because Tuesday he was going for his driving permit. So he wanted his hair done in case they took a picture. So that was one day. So Tuesday comes. And, that happened before the Dundee drama. So we went to the DMV. Thank God for appointments. Get an appointment if you ever go to a DMV.
At least here in California.
Well, I've seen even on, CNN stuff.
Yeah, well,
wow.
We do most of it. We have AAA. And AAA has a DMV service, so most everything you can take care of at AAA. So you don't need to stand in line; you just go in and take care of it, and it's really quick and easy. But for a driver's license, you have to go to DMV, and so we ended up making an appointment, which was fortunate because the line is
they pack you in there like sardines. You are standing in front of somebody and. I had two big, huge guys, so I'm sitting. There was no knitting.
Well, you said the rows of seats were taken, and people were standing in front of those people. It's just packed in there.
You get claustrophobic. That is not the place for you.
Yeah. So apparently, all of our driver's license fees aren't paying for extra help or bigger facilities. So.
No, they're paying for all the.
It's okay. So.
No, I was just going to say security.
Well. I thought you were going to go off on a tangent. She's got a lot of issues about DMV. So anyways. 5 security guards. It's okay. If they paid for more help, they wouldn't need so many security guards because people wouldn't be so angry at standing around for hours on end trying to get their DMV stuff done. Yeah. But
now it's on computers because I was telling Jimmy, you fill in the little dot, for the test because he was nervous.
It's been years since we did a driver's test.
Was it just a few years ago?
Yeah, that's what I said. A couple years, right? 2, maybe 3 years.
Yeah, so that was fun. He was really nervous, and I think it took him 5 minutes to sign his name because he had to do his official name,
full legal name,
and and he's. I don't think he ever had to sign that, really. No,
he needs to practice so he remembers what his whole name is.
Well, he knows Jimmy, so it's like. He didn't know the long extensions.
Yeah, the whole thing.
So that was funny. Even the guy had to laugh at him. So, he got it, and I did sneak some pictures while he was doing it. And I told people, I go, move, I'm getting a picture. So, that was entertaining. So
Well, now we have a permit for him to drive, and so he can officially drive on the streets now.
Yeah.
So I might have to take him out and do some driving because he wants me to be the one that's taking him out. I don't know why he won't let you do that, but it's okay.
Yeah. Who knows?
I'll take him out, let him get used to it, and we'll start getting his hours in because we need so many hours for him to do that. So.
Yep. So then we rushed home to dump Jimmy off and grab Dundee. Dundee's our Queensland Heeler 10-month-old puppy, and we had mentioned last week how he had hurt his back left hip, and it wasn't
leg or something.
Yeah.
And
so it wasn't getting any better. He was crying.
Well, I mean, it's a momentary thing. He has the issue, and you can rub it, and it's like a cramp. It's exactly how it acts. Is a cramp in the leg. You rub it, then he's good. And he's good for hours on end.
Yeah,
and
he's a springy little puppy. I mean, there's full weight bearing on the leg. So I know it wasn't ACL or the the
broken
patella.
or anything.
Yeah,
like
it's like.
But.
So yeah, it got to, he was just standing next to me looking at me, and you just saw it like seize up, and I'm like, that's it.
Take him to the doc.
Yeah, better to catch things early. So yeah, I had to leave him up there because they did full x-rays, every single angle, his whole spine, full checkup, blood work. So we went back later. I had him meet me up there because I'm like, if it is bad news, I do not want to be hearing that. Because he's 10 months old. 10 months old, yeah. He's a young puppy, so something like this.
Unusual.
Yeah. So it wasn't. The vet said everything was normal. He wasn't seeing...
Bones are good. The joints are good. Sees no indication of any issues there. Most likely a soft tissue, so it's like a pulled muscle or something. Yeah. He went ahead and sent it out to a specialist just to have them check it and get a second opinion, and blood work. Came back fine. Yeah. So he had his, like when you buy a new car and you have to go take it back in at like 10,000 miles to have them go through. This is like our 10,000 mile checkup.
Yeah.
So 10,000 miles, right? So.
But it's good to know that there's nothing serious, because if...
Yep.
So...
No, so he's good. And, the doctor, or the vet told us, leave him inside for at least a week, keep him contained as best as you can. 10-month-old Queensland is like trying to shake up a soda and keep the cap on it. It's like...
No, that's trying to grab a oiled pig, man.
Well, that's too. We could do one of those too if you want to see oil up Randy. See, the trick with the pig is just put a little food on a shovel and drag it where you want him to go. Yeah. But anyway, so he's like, he is full of energy, and so trying to keep him contained, and he's pretty much stayed in the house, or if we take him out, we put him on the leash, so. But
Fuji's on the love seat and Dundee's on the couch, and they're staring at each other with cats in the middle.
And so Fuji's having a conversation, or she's making herself comfortable, I'm not sure.
No, she's making herself, I'm the boss.
So anyways, but yeah, so that was... that's what we learned about Dundee. But then when we were down at Fuji's appointment, we asked the vet down there, oncologist, and she said it's possible that it could be like sciatica, because the way their nerves and stuff branch out from the back, that it could be like a case of sciatica or something.
Yeah, she said it's like a hand from their back, and if one...
Yeah, right above their tailbone, and it branches out there, and that it could have pinched or something, and that could be what's irritating it. But so that's interesting. You wouldn't think that dogs would get cramps or sciatica, but leave it to us to get the animal that does. But yeah, so far 3 days so far, and he hasn't had any issues. So, well, we're in day 3, and he hasn't had any issues yet today, right?
Yeah. See,
3 days. But yeah, so he's doing okay, and so we'll see if we can't get him out and roaming again, because we were wondering if he had because he runs the fence with the neighbor dogs, and wasn't sure if he pulled or twisted something that way, or he chases Sadie around the backyard and bunnies. You know, he's
very active.
He is bottled up energy waiting to happen. So, but yeah, so far so good. Hopefully it's subsided where he's not going to run into those issues again.
So yep, and then we had the Fuji's chemo, well, blood work earlier, the next day, and then Fuji chemo on Friday, and we did the hard-hitting chemo on her to hopefully get this knocked into remission, because she's been out of remission since November, so hopefully this will do it. But the oncologist is still really hopeful, and because Fuji's feeling so good, and
well, she's feeling good, and it's not growing. I mean, it's not going away, but it's kind of, it's just there, and it's only in the 2 nodes up in her neck. It hasn't spread out, and I'm like, well, let's get it into remission and then keep it there, because that would be a much better situation. But it's just, we've been holding off on this one because this drug, if you get too much of it, can cause heart issues with the dog. So we got to see if this is working. It's already just the day or two it's been is shrinking the ones down a bit. So that was Fuji's appointment.
I just saw
getting distracted in your iPad, huh?
Well, it's because we're on a group chat, so it's like boom, boom, and it's like,
see all the conversation. Focus, focus, focus. So, anyways, but
and that traffic on chemo day was a nightmare.
Well, we had to go
all day long.
One of our suppliers that we use for soap making stuff is actually further in, so from the area where we're at. So we had to go and pick up some more supplies while we were down there, make the most of our trip down there. Well, we would have been better off if we just headed home from where we were at, but as we were heading to the supplier, we were watching all the traffic just backed and stopped on the freeway the whole way. I mean, all the way from the point where we headed south instead of north, it was like just backed up traffic. Like, this is going to be crazy. So we got there, got our supplies loaded up. I'm like, okay, there's 2 ways we could go. We can either go this way or we can go that way. And we went the other way because we saw how much traffic was on the freeway that we headed down. So we went the other freeway back. And even that it's like, it wasn't accidents, it was all construction. They got construction projects going every couple miles, and it like backs up the traffic, because they close lanes and stuff. Like, it took forever to... Normally we get home around 12:30. We didn't get back till almost 2, right?
2:33.
Oh, okay. It just was like a long day because of traffic, but because of holiday weekend and all of that kind of stuff.
So we had dinner. Not lunch, not dinner. We had lunch.
Like, Linner, what are you talking about? You're making up words on me here.
Yes, I am.
So we got that all squared away, and then on my end of things this weekend, I was our weather has been crazy. I know back east you guys are getting dumped snow and freezing. I am sweating.
Yeah,
I mean, it was unusually warm February. It was, for us, actually, we're usually hotter because we're high desert. We're usually hotter than LA area. LA area has been about 10 degrees hotter than us.
And they hit the 90s?
They hit 90 degrees. Yeah, you guys are getting dumped on snow, and you're sucking all of our cold weather out that way.
Bring it this
and
way.
It's like 90 degrees. And at least here it's like 10 degrees cooler, but it's still 80 degrees. Yeah. And so the problem I have is our trees, which I was planning on moving some of them because they're dormant, are now starting to bud out. We got fruit trees that are flowered. It's like, crazy. So I started planting some of the trees I needed to get into the ground that we'd gotten. I figured, I got till March, right? That's usually how it works. It's cool through. This weather's waking everything up. And then I know we're going to get a freeze, and it's going to kill off all of our buds, and we won't get any fruit on those trees, unfortunately. But fingers crossed that we don't freeze again. But yeah, this is crazy weather. And so... So this weekend I planted a couple new trees. We got some walnut trees in, and doing some cuttings because I wanted to get some new trees started. So There's some poplar trees that Dawn really likes. We got one, and so I did cuttings off of that to try and get some more of those going. And I got to get out and do some more cuttings for like our grapevines and stuff like that. So I'm mixing up my my dirt mix.
I didn't know what you were going to say. I was waiting for that one.
Yeah. So I got some mulch and stuff. I got a pile of mulch. I always have that. It comes in handy when you need to put something in. So mixing that up with the dirt and getting that ready, putting it in the pots and getting it going. So this weekend, I've got tomorrow off is a holiday, so I got that off. Be planting trees and getting ready for spring and all that good stuff.
I'm listening.
Yeah. So yeah, just doing farm stuff, and then my grass is it's really growing good now. Now it's showing. I got nervous when Dawn's like, "Are you sure you planted seed?" I'm like, "Don't make me scratch my head here." But yeah, no, the grass is starting to really come along across the whole entire way. Mm-hmm. You can see all the newly grown grass. This weather's helping with that for one thing, but. Yeah. It's still getting down in the low 30s and at night, so we're getting really wide swings of temperature. I'd like some snow. You can send a bucket over this way if you want. Digging out of, I see pictures that there's
over their windows.
Yeah, I know, crazy. Feel bad for you. That's why we bring you Wolf Farm, so we can keep you entertained while you're locked up in the house.
Oh, that would.
Yeah, you get. That's why we live in California. So, Farmer's Almanac. I can't talk. Farmer's Almanac.
This is from Mimi Teacher, and it is, you've mentioned that you homeschool your son. I'm interested in why you choose to do that.
There you
and
go.
You said you don't want me to go on my...
That's okay.
Okay, well, was it second grade? He was in private school until second grade. Mm-hmm. And he was bored to tears. We thought, kindergarten, first grade is not really,
Well, even
we had him...
the private school he was in was part school, part homeschool, wasn't it? Didn't you have him home 2 days and they were at school 3 days? It was kind of like a unique program where he was only there, 3 days of the week and you did some homeschool. So, but that's kind of how it worked, but I'll let you go on. Talk about that.
So, yeah, and I was noticing he was bored and I was having to do so much on my 2 days to get him challenged and learning something instead of just here's work and him turning it in, busy work. I am not one for busy work. And so, I had him, I go, especially in math, he excelled in math to the extreme. And I'm like, test him. Let's either bump him up a grade or at least for math and language, put him in the classes above. They tested him second grade. Well, he scored 7th, 8th grade level in everything. And I'm like, okay, let's bump him up a grade at least so he's challenged. Well, they wouldn't do it because of his size. He's small for his age. And I'm like, that shouldn't matter a hill of beans. This kid is scoring 7th and 8th grade level. I'm not saying put him into that level. I'm just asking one grade year, so it didn't work out. So I thought, I'm already doing 2 days and really I'm having to do 5 days in those 2 days. So pulled him out and just...
Yeah, well, he's, like I said, he's always been a smart kid. So
yeah, and I've done... standardized testing throughout his years. In 7th grade, was it? Or 6th grade, I retested again with the big standardized testing that they use, and he was scoring college level, Yeah. So it's way I've been able to push him without him knowing, and, him get...
Well, he stays at the level he needs to stay at. So it's uniquely tailored to his needs and for him to learn at the rate that he's going to learn. And because there's things that he just picks up like he's like a sponge.
He's never had to study.
Well,
he can look at the book and he like memorizes.
He picks up stuff really quick. So he's always he's over there making faces at us. But yeah, he's always done really well and learned quick, and this way homeschooling allows you to keep the pace of where he needs to be. Yeah. You know, you're not holding him back because 80% of the class is going slower, and so the 20% that could actually go faster have to wait. And so this way it just kind of keeps at his own pace, and he's done really well with that. And
yeah, and a lot of in the California system, trying to, a lot of the, what are they called, GATE programs or accelerated programs is just anymore giving them busy work. Whereas when we were in school here, it was actually challenging learning work. Now it's, oh, well, here, busy work, which is...
It's okay.
Yeah.
I feel a rant coming on.
I'm sure. Let's not even go into what I think of the California public school system. So
yeah, it's funny because we were actually talking about this on the way down to Fuji about how school has changed. You know, because when I was in school, they used to do field trips. I don't know in other states, but California, they haven't done field trips in I don't know how long. They used to take kids out when we were in school and take you places to see stuff other than school, you know, and
that's another reason why, another thing why we homeschooled is because, like, for example, if we were studying the ocean, we went to, like, Monterey Bay Aquarium or Long Beach Aquarium, and you incorporating real life into your schooling.
Yeah, so you look at how what you're learning is practical in real life, right. And then that helps them understand it a little better. But I know when we were kids, we used to go on field trips. Now, you know, at least in California, they're goal-based. They want you to pass the test, so that's all they give you. The
standardized testing. The teachers are paid and keep their jobs based on how the children score at school. So they teach English, math.
Yeah,
English, math, spelling. Is that?
Well, I mean, there's stuff that they have the curriculum, but I mean, it's like the focus is strictly on passing the test, not on actually giving a good education. I mean, there is a world of difference between being able to pass a test and then having a good education and understanding what you're learning. If you teach someone an answer to mark 5, okay, after a while they learn, okay, I'll mark 5, right? But they don't understand why they're doing it. Practicality and all that other stuff. I'll get off my soapbox. See, and here you thought you would have it.
I know.
So we had this whole actually, I don't even remember why we were having that conversation on Friday, but we were talking about that.
Yeah.
But so we do it because it's actually the reason why we do homeschooling with Jimmy is because it's just a better education all around, the way, you know, that we're approaching it. I mean, there's a variety of different homeschool methods that
we won't even go there.
that some I think are better than others, and like I said, we follow a pretty strict curriculum. Dawn's meticulous about how she goes about the whole thing, which you kind of need to be if you're doing homeschooling yourself. Yeah. You need to be able to stay on top of what the kids need to be doing, particularly at the younger age. As you get older, you kind of give them some freedom to. Yeah. But that being said, it does take work. It's a full-time job, so.
Because I keep extensive records in multiple places, so if there's any questions or you know,
and you know, it's interesting with the colleges now they recognize the fact that there's homeschoolers now more so than they had in the past, and they actually have that is not frowned upon in the colleges, maybe at least at some.
Yeah.
You know, my brother used to be a recruiter for St. John's College in New Mexico. He's a teacher there now, but he used to work in the recruiting office, and said that they actually had that as part of their recruiting curriculum, was for looking at homeschool kids, because they do tend, for those that, you know, have the parents that take the time to give them a good education, they do get very smart and well educated kids out of that environment, because it keeps pace with their learning. So
you could just so tell we could so go off on
as you can see, it's something we really thought a lot about. But
Yeah.
but I think all in all, Jimmy is gained from being homeschooled just because I think he would have been got himself in a lot of trouble because he would have been bored if he went to regular school.
His mouth would have gotten.
Well, yeah. That's a whole other thing. But yeah, no. So he's actually doing well. We'll get.
And we've kept him where he's going to be natural age going into college and stuff. I didn't. Yeah, he could have been put sooner, but mentally, I didn't.
No.
I don't think that would have been healthy.
No, it's timing. And as you can see, I've got my. This is my gift from Jimmy for Valentine's Day, right? Can you tell I'm teaching and helping him with his calculus math?
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it's funny because this math has always been my. I always help with the math, and he's getting into calculus now, and that's he's benefiting from the fact that I've done all of it, so I can go in and I can help him with kind of.
He
work.
says you're explaining better than the curriculum, so
Yeah. So like I said, I give him practical things. He's like, when am I ever going to use this? And we get into, well, you were talking about programming for gaming and stuff. Well, the engine that has to generate all the 3D graphics, and you need to know how to use all of this to vector all that, and it's all math. You need to know math in order to calculate where that pixel needs to light up on the screen. And he's like, oh, well, you just write the code. I said, yeah, but someone has to write the engine that reads that code. I said, so you may not do that specifically, but this is where math in real life, you could actually use some of what you're doing here to actually write a better gaming engine that people would use to write games if you so were inclined. So it's like, oh, now I can see how I might use this, because a lot of times when you say, where is the X? Oh, it's right there. What are you talking about? Yeah, it's like, okay, well, try and make a practical example so he understands, it's not just busy work that he's doing. So shall we move on?
So, in the coop. In the coop, I finished, I don't even think I'd started applying yet last week.
You had started but had a problem. Remember you had started?
No, that was the next day. I hadn't
You
started.
sure?
Because I forgot to show.
Oh, that's right. We didn't do the...
So, this is Be Myself in the Merino Cunning colorway. And it's a gradient. It's red, orange, yellow. So, red, orange, yellow is on here. And this is chain plied. And so I just didn't have time to get it off on the... and it's really, 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 really...
twisted.
Over-plied. You can see it's going to twist it. It needs to relax.
Yeah. It'll be a tight twist if you get it to relax.
Yeah, it's a very tight twist. Because I was like, I've only chain plied twice. And it was like, at first, I could not, for the life of me, remember how to do this. And I was wasting so much, because I had started with the red. I had wasted so much. And I'm like, So, yeah. And then I just stopped, came back the next day, and
voila.
It clicked. It's like, oh, yeah.
You figured it out.
Yeah. So then I worked. I have not really knit this week at all.
Like we said earlier, it's been one of them.
Yeah.
You were going somewhere every single day of the week. So.
Yeah. So this is my Star Shower cowl. By Hillary Smith Callis. It was a gift from Stitched by Sasha. And this is done in Cakewalk Yarns in the Weenie colorway.
Yeah.
On size 7s, because I went up a size.
It's looking pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it's inside out because you flip back and forth throughout. So I did a couple inches. I think that's one whole pattern repeat of it. So Yeah, it's cool, but yeah, now I'm on the wrong side, so.
I like the mesh pattern in that. That's
cool. It's going to be really cool. And I keep looking at my other yarns thinking, ooh, I want to do one in that. Because you knit it like a shawl, but then you connect and it's a cowl. So it's not going to fall off. And, so I love that construction. So, and it's really fun. So hopefully I can get this finished up this next week, depending on what's going on.
Yeah. Hopefully you get a much more normal week.
I don't know. There's 2 dentist appointments, so it's like.
That's always fun.
Yeah.
Your favorite.
Yeah. So then, Flown the Coop is my present cowl. And that's a free pattern on Ravelry by Mademoiselle C. And this is such a great pattern. I'm already, this is another one. It's like, what hand spun can I do now? And so I guess that's about 3 inches, Finished this. This is out of Redfish Dye Works. You can see my dicky-do. And I'm not going to block it because I like this inch
the way it,
the way
I
it's,
like the well, you're going to put it over and it's going
to scrunch anyways, but yeah. And this is merino and silk, so.
It'll be nice soft against your neck.
Yeah. The only thing is, I don't know if you can see that it just bugs me. See the top here and how it didn't match on the bottom. There's more garter. And I followed the pattern, but I think it would have looked better the same amount. Balanced. Yeah, I like balance. Nobody's going to notice this, especially when it's on. Yeah. I notice it, and it's my OCD kind of.
Your one pet peeve on that, huh?
Yeah.
Well, next time you do it, you can adjust it up. So.
Yeah. It's like a Slinky, the wonderful world. Remember that commercial go down the stairs?
I know. I could never get my Slinky to do that.
I got it a little bit.
Yeah. See, they always made it look so much better on a commercial.
On TV, yeah.
Yeah. Mine just. Vroom.
And if you don't know what a Slinky is, Google it.
Yeah.
It was a toy. They still make them.
I'm sure they make them.
They're colored now. Yeah. They're not the little silver ones like we had.
It is what it is. I could never get mine to work the way they showed it on the commercial. Like everything else.
Yep.
Is that it?
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know.
Weird noise. So, Squeal like a pig. I got lots of Squeal like a pigs. Stitched by Sasha. Now, it's like, where did the card go? Sent me a Valentine this week. And sent a bit. Oh, I hope that's not coming through onto the podcast. So, she sent me a whole bag of sachets. And there's lavender sachets, Sasha sachets. And there's 3 different patterns. There's polka dots. Oh, they smell so good. And they're to match my bags and stuff. And yeah. So, I've been sniffing. I've wanting to use these all week, but I've been good.
I know. You gotta
I did kind of use a little bit, but yeah. So, it just... Yeah, and she said I could slice one of these open and actually drink it, so, because it's food-grade lavender. And then in the bag, there was a Notions pouch, a little bunny. Ooh, cool. Notion pouch. And then inside is a whole bunch of mini skeins.
Cool.
So, I think these are all gnome acres.
More for your blanket.
Yay. Because you notice I didn't show the blanket this week. So, yeah. Gorgeous, gorgeous colors.
Awesome. Is that 6 mini skeins?
Yep. So almost a whole week.
6 more squares.
So, yeah, and I was thinking, she calls this a Notion pouch, but this would be, like, perfect for a preemie hat.
Oh,
you could just
mini
put
project.
A little mini project, yeah. Like an emergency kit, to always, have in your purse. So
just in case.
Just in case.
You get stranded and need something to knit on.
Yeah, I always make sure I got knitting just in case that happens. And then I got a package from Angie, Sundays 9/20, Valentine. And it came with the little bubblehead candy. And Fuji's looking at me like, give me that. Gnome Acres, to my Yarny Valentine. Yarn is often red and sometimes blue. You were gifted this fabulous yarn because somebody likes you. EWE. So it's some mini skeins.
Cool.
With the heart button. Fuji. I don't want her. Look at this cool box. And inside the box is a love bug. A little love bug. Is that showing up? Yeah, there's the little eyeballs. She's so good at these little mini things. They're hard to...
My hand would cramp up if I was doing stuff that small.
And then a no-knit Sherlock Fruit Loop gang. He's a naked Fruit Loop gang. But the cutest part, look at his little butt cheeks. It is so cute. She's so good at toys. She sends me toys. I love them. But yeah, then you just
butt cheeks.
To squeeze a little cheeks. So now I can squeeze his cheeks all I want. So thank you guys so much. And then she had adorable little stickers all over this, and they're like all over.
Flying out on me.
Yeah, they're flying out on me. And then I got a couple patterns. One from Knit Psycho, Manda. She sent me the Chartreuse by Thea Coleman. Y'all know I love Thea Coleman. This is, I think, her new pattern. Look at that. So pretty. So that was really exciting to get that, and because then I start thinking, ooh.
What yarn for that one?
Yeah. And then, where did it go? Oh, duh. It's right in front of my face. Knit and Love East Tennessee sent me the Yowza Weigh It shawl. And this is a Susan B. Anderson pattern. And you can use Miss Babs Yowza What a Skein, or you can just use it's like 500 and some odd yards of worsted. I think it's worsted. Well, let me show it to you first. So you weigh it as you go. There's supposed to be no counting. So I think that would be perfect for like hand spun, in order to...
Yeah, because the gauge is not always the same as what you store-bought stuff.
Yeah, it says 560 yards, but I'm sure it can be just on the weight. Because it ends up being 72 inches wingspan. That's
big.
It's way bigger than me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
72.
How big am I?
Well, that's 6 feet, and you're not 6 foot tall.
Yeah, I know that. It's like, oof, that would be way too big. So yeah, maybe I'll read the directions. So that was exciting.
Cool.
So thank you so much, you guys. Nice to Squeal.
Yes, you did.
You did. And squeeze butt cheeks. So I think we're rounding up.
Is that it? You're all done?
I'm all done.
All right. Well, I guess we'll get...
I'm sure there's always something I would ramble on about, but...
Okay. Well, don't forget our Hatch and Knit every month.
Yep.
Enter in whatever you finish in this month into our thread. Actually, each month we have a thread for each one, and you can win a Wool Farm gift certificate if you're the winner.
Or stitch markers.
Or stitch markers. We have some stitch markers to give away as well. So just enter in any of your finished projects into that thread, and you could be a winner. Don't forget, you can get a free Wolf Farm Video Podcast button with any paid order. Just ask for that in the comment section when you're checking out, and we'll be happy to stick that in the order as we're shipping that off to you. And I guess that about does it.
So until next time,
let's get cracking. Hatching it. Bye, y'all.